In this lecture, I will discuss about pictorial sketching. Pictorial sketching is a drawing in which we draw the 3D image for the better understanding of an object. So here is a brief perspective view that I have discussed in the previous lecture, that from an observer eye we draw the orthographic lines and then we draw a perspective view. So what also I have discussed about oblique and isometric. So in this pictorial sketching, I will discuss the basics of 3D drawing. Pictorial drawing. A pictorial drawing provides a 3D image to help understand the shape of an object or to assist in interpreting a drawing. There are three main ways to draw a pictorial drawing. To draw a 3D object. How to draw a 3D object, that is the main objective of this lecture. So there are three main types or three ways to draw a pictorial drawing, means 3D drawing. One is isometric, that is axonometric drawing, oblique, and third one is perspective. Three types of pictorial sketches: perspective, isometric, and oblique. In oblique, the front object have the two dimensions, the third dimension is extended. In isometric, we draw at some angle and with the parallel lines. In the perspective, all the lines or the rays are converging or joining at one point or to the observer eye. So axonometric and oblique projection. Axonometric projection, here you see a 3D box. Type of axonometric axis, you are seeing a 3D box or a cube. Here isometric, diametric, trimetric. There are three types of axes of axonometric or drawing of 3D drawing. One, all angles are equal, means when we place this axis, this one and this vertical axis, means 3D axis, then all the angles between the sides between these lines are equal, mean 120, 120 and 120. That is isometric axis. Now what is diametric axis? Here, now I tilted towards right little bit. Now angle A and C are equal but not equal to C. That is smaller angle. These two angles are bigger. So that is diametric, in which two angles are equal. Third one is trimetric. Okay, here downward and also downward. None of angles are equal, that is trimetric. So our engineering, best drawing, that is isometric, where the object will be look proper and the angles between the lines are equal. Okay, all are axonometric axis, but there are different types. Isometric, where all angles are equal, where all angles A and C angle is equal but not equal to B, and in the trimetric, all the angles are not equal. So here is again the isometric axis, where 120 all angles are equal, so that is the isometric axis. And when we draw a horizontal line at here, the angle will become 30 degree, and the remaining, that is 120 degree. So half quarter of circle, that will be 180 degree. So that is a isometric box that will be used. I will discuss it in detail how to draw a 3D object by using isometric axis and isometric box. Oblique projection. In the oblique projection, that I have also discussed in detail in the previous lectures. In the oblique projection, we got the front side with two dimensions but not the third dimension. So we project the third dimension by our own observation. Here oblique drawing angle. Here the front view is looking same as it is the object shape, object size, but the third dimension is not you can say the actual dimension. Here that is the 30 degree, projected backward, here 45 degree projected backward, 60 degree projected. So 45 degree looking good. Type of oblique projection or oblique drawing. There is a one cavalier and second is cabinet. When use 45 degree and the projection behind the object for the third dimension is according to full scale, so that is cavalier. And if it is a half drawn on a 45 degree, the third dimension is only half scale, so that is a cabinet. Isometric projection and isometric drawing. So now I will discuss in detail how you can draw isometric projection. Here is a 3D object, okay, with parallel lines the object is drawn. Now rotate the object by 45 degree, this object. Now you will see the object like that. Okay, so now I will tilt upward little bit. Now when you will draw the parallel lines and you will join the corners of the parallel lines, then you will get a 3D object. Okay, that is the isometric, when the lines from a 3D from an object drawn parallel to the plane of projection, so that projection is isometric projection. Here this is the actual object. Okay, so when we draw on the isometric projection, then all the edges are foreshortened about 0.8 times, means these dimensions are approximately reduced by 0.8 times. So isometric drawing. So isometric drawing is a drawing drawn on an isometric axis using full scale. So how, what I mean by the previous slide, and about this I will discuss. Here isometric projection, true projection, full scale. Here when we draw the 3D object by seeing a 3D object, then we got the object with their foreshortened dimensions. So its dimensions are less than the actual. So to project this object to the actual dimensions, we scale up. How much? This is foreshortened. So for example, that is foreshortened about 0.8 times. To increase this dimension, we have increased here. For example, here 0.8 meter. So now to the actual dimension, that is extended to full 1 meter. So that is a full scale. Now positions of isometric axis. Okay, so isometric axis can be arbitrarily positioned to create different views of a single object. Here you will inspire regular isometric here. Now you will see the isometric axis is here. This one, this one, this one. All angles are equal. Viewpoint is looking down on the top of the object. When we see on the top of the object, this is the top of the object, the axis is downside. Reverse axis isometric. Here the top view, you are seeing the rear view, but the isometric axis is upward. Viewpoint is looking up on the bottom of the object. The third, long axis isometric. Anywhere. Viewpoint is looking from the right or left of the object. Anywhere you can select. Okay, from the left side or from the right side of the object. Isometric sketching. So now I will discuss step-by-step procedure, how previously I have discussed in detail, like what is the difference between the oblique, isometric and perspective view, perspective projection and 3D drawing. So now I will discuss how you can draw step by step a 3D object. Sketch from an actual object. Place the object in the position whose shape and feature are clearly seen. Means for example, a brick, means place the brick in 3D position in such a way that you can clearly see is 3D, or you can clearly perceive the 3D object. So set the object at some position. Second, define the isometric axis. Like you want to use the isometric and reverse or long axis, so whatsoever. Okay, so define an isometric axis. Sketch the enclosing box, means sketch the isometric box. Estimate the size and of any element and relationship with each detail. Darken all visible lines. So I will discuss these steps step by step for the isometric drawing. Here first step, that is positioning object. The object in the hand is positioned roughly with 30 degree with the horizontal, or you can say 120 degree in a circular path with the 3 axis. So this is a 3D object. You will put you in your hand. Now you will draw this 3D object on your drawing. So how? First step is positioning object, that is clear. Select isometric axis. So here isometric axis is selected. Okay, you can select also bottom one if you tilt it up. So now that is the front part, that is the top part of this object. So this corner will touching the top part. So select an isometric axis. Sketch the enclosing box. This is the rough length, width and height. Length, width and height of this object, that is the isometric box. Okay, that is the isometric box concept. Whatever the object, you will make the roughly the length, width and height of that object, that is the isometric box. Okay, so that is I have already drawn the isometric axis. Now add details one by one. Now first I am seeing a cut with these 4 points. Okay, now I will put these 4 points, 1 2 3 4 points here. 1 2 3 4 points. Okay, now this front part, again there are 4 points, 1 2 3 4 here. Okay, so now I will join this line to this line to this. Okay, now you are seeing the object. Now I will darken all the lines remaining. Okay, now you can clearly see I have drawn the 3D object on the drawing, and I have again explained all the steps that I have discussed in the previous slide. The second example, positioning object. Now this is the object. Okay, then the second step is select the isometric axis. So if I see the top, so I imagine this box in a box before any cutting, or like this cut and this cut or any cut, I will see, and this is isometric box, so I will see the isometric axis here. Select isometric axis. Okay, here at top will come. Now the third, isometric box. Okay, so roughly this is the width, length and height of this object. So that is isometric box. Now I will put the details, like here is cut, here is again cut. You are seeing here in the vertical, in the L shape, that is a cut. Again here an L shape. Okay, here at this point vertical cut. Okay, so I will put each and every detail one by one. Here add details. First step, this L shape. Here again L shape. Okay, I have just joined these 2 lines. Now second, this one is here cut and here is also cut, and that cut is extended up till here. Okay, so I will draw a line here and then join the cut here, that is the cut. How much is cut is going behind, put these lines. Similarly here is cut in the incline, I have drawn here. Okay, so now I have almost drawn all the details. Darken visible lines. So now I will darken one by one all visible lines. Here, that is it left. Okay, here. So if anything will left, you will darken at the end. So that's how you will draw 3D objects. Not in isometric sketch or drawing, hidden lines are omitted. So now you have seen we didn't draw any hidden line, and if there is any need of hidden line, we do not draw hidden line in the 3D object. So hidden lines are omitted unless they are absolutely necessary to completely describe the object. So 99.9% there is no need of drawn on the hidden lines.